A battle resumes in the Phoenix Desert in the second round of the Toyota Atlantic Championship. At the foot of the Australia Mountains in the Arizona Desert, the beautiful Phoenix International Raceway, site of round 2 of the 1992 Toyota Atlantic Championship. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris McClure. Welcome to Phoenix. At Miami a few weeks ago, the Reynards were indeed dominant, and many figured they would continue that trend here at Phoenix, but that may not be the case. Joining us for his commentary, 1990 Toyota Atlantic champion Brian Till. And Brian, through the qualifying, things did reverse a bit.
The Reynards were strong here, but we've got a Swift on the pole. But the thing that we have to keep in mind is that this racetrack changes dramatically from 1 hour to the next. So from qualifying until now, the track could change, which means the handling characteristics of the car could change. We could see the Reynard back in front.
The Swift is on the pole. Let's meet the man behind the wheel with Calvin Fish.
I'm here with Jamie Gallus on the pole for the second year in a row here at Phoenix. But unfortunately today, Jamie, on your second lap of qualifying, you tagged the wall. Psychologically, what does that do for you going into the race right now?
Well, I don't know. I'm probably more nervous about starting on the pole at all than, here than putting it in the fence. I've been around here a lot, and, I always wondered what it was like to hit the wall here, and it wasn't quite as bad as I thought, so I'm not too worried about it.
Well, that's good. Obviously, the crew have done a good job putting the car back together, and General Racing put Jimmy Vasser in victory circle a lot of times last year, and they'll be looking to do the same for you today. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Jamie Gallus stood fourth in the championship after one race, added 1 point to his total for the pole, still is in fourth position. Russell Spence, the winner at Miami at 21 points, leads the fight. Then Steve O'Hara, Stuart Crow, Gallus, and John Miranda rounding out the top 5. Here in the desert around Phoenix, the temperature hovering in the high 70s. It's clear, it's warm. There's a little breeze spilling over the rim of this 1 mile oval, but it should not affect the runners. Let's take a look at the grid. On the pole, Jamie Gallus from Albuquerque, New Mexico. His second straight pole at this Phoenix Raceway. Flanking him, Jordan Harris from Malibu, California, the 38-year-old president of Virgin Records. In row number 2 on the inside, 51-year-old Tom Dooley of Scottsdale, Arizona. And on the outside, in the top qualifying Reynard, the top rookie qualifier as well, Harold Heisman from Oslo, Norway. In row number 3, Russell Spence, the winner at Miami on the inside, and Bill Pratt, who went 23rd to 12th at Miami. He's on the outside. In row number 4, Mark Dismore. 11 career victories for this man. Outside of him, Billy Rowe from Chandler, Arizona, a good oval racer, 4th at Phoenix last year. Row number 5, Steve O'Hara from Laguna Hills, California, last year's most improved driver in this series. And on the outside, Gustavo Gutierrez from Caracas, Venezuela. In row 6, Chris Schneider and Gary Peterson. Stuart Crow and John Marconi in row number 7, followed by John Brooks and Peter Fossetta Jr. John Miranda and Lars Dirks are in row number 9. Then Mike Berg, Steve Cameron in row 10, and the rest of the field. And as they continue to warm their tires, anticipating the start and getting a look at this Phoenix race course, it's a good close look they'll take, Brian Till, because it's a tricky place.
Yeah, 1 mile oval, Chris, but it's very different on each end. Turn 1 and 2 have a fair amount of banking in them through a dog leg on the back straightaway, and then into turns 3 and 4, a little more open corner and a lot less banking, so the car has to be set up to work at both ends.
26 runners and riders now beginning their final preparations, rolling at the Phoenix 1 mile oval. That's the number 23 car of John Marconi, and we'll spend some time in this 50-lap dash on board with him out of Laguna Beach, California, an Indy Lights runner a year ago, and the Herbalife Swift DB4. Also riding in car today, we will be with number 38, Steve Cameron. He comes from a bit further back in the 10th row. Sonoma, California, he calls his home in the Pope Racing Group Rockford Fosgate Swift DB4. They're continuing to scrub in the tires for the 50-lap dash in the desert sunshine. And the big question, I guess, at the beginning, Jamie Gallus's car and how it might perform, since they have had to rebuild that in a matter of hours. They're coming down to the line. In turn 3, the revs begin to come up as they clear the bridge onto the front straightaway again. Jamie Gallus pulls out.
And we got a green.
And a green flag flies, and Gallus, with about a half car length, clears the line. Right behind him, Jordan Harris, the surprise front row qualifier. And Harris is making a move, and also Heisman coming up on the outside, challenging for the lead off turn number 2.
A great start by Harold Heisman to jump up there in second place.
Reynard against Swift, and into turn number 3. Heisman just pulls around and pulls away 3-4 car lengths, so he will be the lap leader after one.
It looked like Jamie could be having some problems. Jordan Harris to the inside of him, and Jamie really squeezed him, and Spence just took second place. It's Reynard 1 and 2.
So quickly, Reynard recovers from what was a disappointing qualifying run for them. Third place belongs to Jordan Harris. Jamie Gallus continues to run in 4th position, but he looks like he may slide back further. Perhaps the car not just right as we thought might be the case. The Reynards, nose to tail on the front straightaway, nearly a touch, as moving down to the inside was Russell Spence, and he immediately puts his arm up in the air.
We've had a yellow out. We've got a spin. It looks like O'Hara on the back into turn 3, and the yellow flag is out.
He's out of the car and moving across the grass toward the infield. The 9th qualifier, Steve O'Hara, out of the race in the second lap, and the field slows down. We'll be back to Phoenix with more action of the Toyota Atlantic Championship in just a moment. Today's race is brought to you by Toyota Motorsports, where technology on a fast track is built into every Toyota. And by Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. The disabled machine of Steve O'Hara has been removed from the track, and we're expecting a green flag this time by the stripe. And we hear the RPMs come up in turn 3 and 4 as Harold Heisman leads the charge to the line. The green flag is out. In close pursuit is his Reynard teammate, Russell Spence. And 1-2 into turn number 1 they go. Spread out just a little bit, 3 or 4 car lengths. Third place continues to belong to Jordan Harris, who started on the front row. Then Jamie Gallus in 4th.
You know, just before the yellow came out, it looked like Jamie's car just wasn't quite up to snuff after the repairs were made, and he was dropping back a little bit. Seems to be hanging in pretty good right now, and the Reynards seem to be pulling away. It seems like Spence gets off 3 and 4 better than Heisman does.
On the front straightaway, just before the yellow, this is where he made a move and then pulled back in line, and now this time he completes the move. And Russell Spence, who won at Miami flag to flag, has taken over the lead and stretching it out to 4 car lengths midway down the back straightaway.
But you got to look at Jordan Harris in 3rd place, who's doing a tremendous job. You know, as the Reynard teammates are fighting amongst themselves, Jordan is able to catch up with them.
4th place continues to be held by Jamie Gallus. He's under heavy attack now from Tom Dooley as they clear the stripe. And the front 5 serial begins to spread out a little bit. Jordan Harris maintaining contact with the Reynards in front of him. And on the back straightaway, it looks like he closes down on Heisman just a little bit. We'll watch him through the turns and see if he can close that even further.
Yeah, Spence seems to be opening up a little bit, and Jamie seems to be dropping back like he was just before the yellow came out previously.
Meantime, we go back on board with John Marconi, running in 13th position.
Yeah, John's coming onto the front straightaway here. It's 5th gear all the way around this 1 mile oval, down past the start-finish line there. You can see that as he drops into turn 1. It's pretty well banked here. It doesn't look like it from the camera view, but it really has a fair amount of banking all the way up to the wall and then through the little dog leg on the back straightaway there. Let the car run up to the right side of the road. Now we're going to enter turns 3 and 4. Very much less banking in 3 and 4 than in 1 and 2, and it's flat on the floor all the way around for the throttle here, and John back onto the front straightaway. A lap of PIR, and it doesn't take you long to get around it in one of these Toyota Atlantics.
John Marconi, a veteran open-wheeled racer, trying to pick up a few positions. He has since the start. Now running in the 13th spot. Meantime, the Reynards continue to cruise along in front, and they're pulling away from 3, 4, and 5. The 3rd place position, Jordan Harris, Jamie Gallus. Maybe he's got it dialed in a little bit since the trouble at the start. Then Tom Dooley in that serial. And 3rd place is at issue at the moment on the back straightaway. Into turn number 3 they go.
You just never know, Chris. This track changes so much. And if the car is set up with a little bit of push in it, Jordan had pulled away early. That might work until the tires get hot. And who knows, he might have overheated the front tires a little bit, could have picked up a push, he could have picked up a little bit of looseness in the car, and he's dropping back into the grasp of both Jamie Gallus and Tom Dooley.
Tom Dooley keeps it down lower in the groove this time through, out of that speedy dry, and maintains the space between himself and Jamie Gallus.
And in the meantime, Spence and Heisman have already caught traffic, and they're working their way through, and they seem to be pulling out a nice lead here.
The Reynards came in expecting more from their qualifying, but they didn't get what they wanted. They weren't on the front row, but it didn't take them long to get up to the 1-2 position. The leader is Russell Spence from Brantford, England. We'll be back to Phoenix in just a moment. In traffic, the leader at Phoenix is Russell Spence in the Reynard, followed closely by Harold Heisman. About a half second between them as they clear the traffic. Russell Spence from England, a rookie in the series, Brian Till, a very amiable fellow who saw his first oval just a couple of days ago and fell in love with this form of racing immediately.
Well, he is a rookie to the series, but he's certainly not a rookie to open-wheel cars. He's driven Formula 3 cars, Formula 3000 cars in Europe, and it looks like Heisman might... Ooh, looking into one there, kind of got slowed down in traffic a little bit. I tell you, it seems like the Reynards are able to work more of the racetrack in traffic than the Swifts might be. Jordan Harris still hanging on the third, and he's been able to put some distance in between himself and Jamie Gallus. And Tom Dooley is dropping back now out of the fourth place position, but it looks like the Reynards can run pretty much where they want to go.
And Heisman looks like he might want to go high against Spence. They're almost side by side, but separated by a back marker on the front straightaway into turn number 1. Heisman goes high, Spence goes low, and they're right back into traffic once again. Side by side, Heisman ducks in. Very dicey off turn number 2. Spence holding on to the lead, and Heisman trying to pull through on the outside. Now they're in 3.
Absolutely incredible. That black car was Jeff Barker and another Reynard. And that just goes to show you saw Spence and Heisman go side by side and put Joe Sposato the meat in a sandwich in turn 1 and 2. It shows you that they can put those Reynards anywhere they want to. They can drive them high or they can drive them low.
In turn number 2, after all the traffic, Spence pulls away from Heisman just a little bit. Those are all back markers just tucked in behind. Third place still belongs to Jordan Harris. Then Jamie Gallus. Mark Dismore is listed in the 5th position in the number 1 car, former Atlantic champion in 1990. So he's making a move forward after a disappointing qualifying.
And that's a great comeback for Mark, because he had trouble. You know, he had this terrible crash at Indianapolis a year ago, and he's coming back from severe leg and foot injuries with that. And he's back in driving what we'd call the work Swift. He is the guy that they want to compete against those Reynards.
Another rookie, John Brooks, listed now in the 4th position. Spence, Heisman, Harris, Brooks, and Dismore, the top 5 as we reach half distance in this 50-mile event at Phoenix. Harold Heisman has slowed on the front straightaway. The number 11 Reynard being passed by all kinds of traffic as he takes it down toward the apron in turns 1 and 2. Severe mechanical problems apparently for that former leader in this race. And the number 15 car, Peter Fossetta Jr., off in the grass. Off turn number 4, smoke coming from the engine compartment, and he apparently has retired, and we do now have a yellow flag displayed at Phoenix once again. And Russell Spence leads it. Then Jordan Harris, John Brooks, Mark Dismore, and Jamie Gallus, the top 5. And Tom Dooley, Billy Rowe, Stuart Crow, John Miranda, and Gustavo Gutierrez, the top 10. We'll be back to Phoenix in just a moment. Welcome back to Phoenix. We're still operating under the yellow flag. And let's go directly down to the pits. Calvin Fish standing by with Harold Heisman.
Harold Heisman appears to be out of this race right now. He's talking to Adrian Reynard, the designer of the Reynard car. Maybe we'll get a word with him here. Harold? What happened? You seem to be running so strong, came by the pits that last lap, and we thought we heard a misfire from the engine. Was that the problem?
That's right. I saw the temperatures go up and climbed well over 100 and stayed over 100 for a few laps. And I doubted I could make it. It started misfiring and just died.
Well, you've shown so strongly here at the first 2 races. Hopefully you'll do better at Long Beach next week. Bad luck, Harold.
The lights are off the pace card. Once again, the runners at Phoenix begin to scrub in the tires for a restart with a mad dash to the finish looming. The leader is Russell Spence, then followed by Jordan Harris. Third place belongs to the 99 car, John Brooks, who's come all the way from 15th starting position to the third position on the racetrack. But there are 5 back markers between himself and the front. Green flag flies. Russell Spence pulls away. Got a good shot down the front straightaway, trying to make up some ground through traffic. Is second place Jordan Harris, along with Mark Dismore, who got to jump on John Brooks to the line and took over third position.
I mean, an excellent point there, Chris. There are 5 cars in between Russell Spence and Jordan Harris. He's got to not only race to try to catch Russell Spence, but he's got to try to get back pass by these back markers at the same time.
In turns 3 and 4, Russell Spence taking advantage of the traffic behind him and has a half straightaway lead with 99 car, that of John Brooks. What a run for him.
What a move
into
in traffic.
Second position.
That is incredible. You should have seen this move in 3 and 4. It was fantastic. Drove around the outside. I think Jordan got too caught up with trying to deal with the traffic down on the low line where he wants to run, and Brooks said, I'll take the high line.
John Brooks in front of the home fans. Tucson, Arizona is his home. Runs in second. He's a rookie in the series. Jordan Harris shuffled back to third, then Mark Dismore and Jamie Gallus.
And there's Dismore just back behind. He's trying to get past the lap car. Mark has come from well down on the grid starting, and it looks like he's really making a good move, and that's a great thing to see for a comeback for Mark Dismore.
He runs in fourth position right now, and just a few feet up the track is Jordan Harris trying to track him down as they work through turns 3 and 4. Everyone trying to catch Russell Spence, the rookie, but he's well out in front and seemingly at the moment comfortable. And now we go on board with the 38 car of Steve Cameron from Sonoma, California.
Yeah, and you can see battling here, Steve onto the front straightaway.
Cameron currently is running in 14th position. He works the front straightaway at Phoenix, and we'll be back in a moment. Today's race is brought to you by Toyota Motorsports, where technology on a fast track is built into every Toyota. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. Back at Phoenix, a battle for the lead shaping up. Russell Spence holding on to a 7/10 of a second advantage. John Brooks from 15th starting position trying to trap him down.
This is unbelievable. John Brooks has done what looked like no one was going to be able to do in the beginning, and that is catch one of the new Reynards. As a matter of fact, Spence got a little high that time at the exit of 2, and that's going to allow Brooks to catch up with him just a little bit more. But he has made tremendous strides in the last few laps.
Off turn 4, they come onto the front straightaway. Just a few miles to go, and Spence can claim his second straight victory of 1992 as he swings around the back marker underneath into turn number 1. And coming along in close pursuit still Jordan Harris. Mark Dismore a ways back, working on third position, trying to get through some traffic and come to terms with these two. They work through the kink on the back straightaway into turn number 3. A higher line for Russell Spence again on the entry. John Brooks handling very well, and he's come from well back to challenge for the lead.
It looks like Russell's been able to pull it out just a little bit more. John had caught up with him just a few laps ago, but he was able to stick a back marker in between them for a lap, and that gave him just a little bit more breathing room.
And it looks they will come up on some more traffic shortly. You see all those cars down the back straightaway in front of them, and Spence closing rather quickly, as is John Brooks. Through 3 and 4 and onto the straightaway they come. He may encounter that traffic right in the turn.
You know, the beautiful thing is this is exactly what Spence wants to see. He knows that the Reynard's going to work anywhere on the racetrack, and if he can put traffic in between himself and John Brooks, that's what he wants. And there's a good look at Mark Dismore down the front straight.
He puts another lap in the book. A good drive from Mark Dismore back in the series. He did not contest at Miami. Up front once again, the number 12 machine of Russell Spence.
White flag on that lap. Spence just needs to hold on for one more lap, and there goes another lap car in between himself and John Brooks just for safekeeping. And if he can hold on to it for a lap and deal with these two cars in front of him, he'll have himself another win.
Onto the back straightaway they go. A half mile for Russell Spence, and he will have yet another victory.
But
into turn number 3 under Chris Smith's yellow car down toward the apron on the exit. Looks like he has clean air, and the white flag
again.
over.
That was
Russell
a little confusing.
Spence.
He's going to have to do it one more time.
One more mile to go, less than a mile to go for Russell Spence again. He's on the back straightaway and still dealing with turbulence and traffic.
And Brooks is all over him. They're almost side by side into 3. They are side by side, and Brooks is up high and Spence stays down low.
So it's a dash to the wire as Russell Spence and Brooks do battle, and
it was Brooks.
Brooks,
I believe, by about a nose.
A nose.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
In fact, it's too unbelievable, Brian Till, because Russell Spence believes that he won this race, and apparently the officials agree with him. They ran one lap too many with the white flag. Let's go back to the end of lap 50, the official distance. Now, charging the line, it's a good battle right here, Brooks and Russell Spence, but at the line, it is clearly Spence in the lead by a full car length, and he has been declared the winner of this event here at Phoenix. He's now standing by in the victory circle with our Calvin Fish.
Okay, Chris, we're here with the winner of this race under some confusion, Russell Spence. The race was flagged a lap too late. You obviously saw the white flag for the last lap, Russell, and you thought you'd won it, and then under the confusion, the starter didn't give you the checkered. But under the rules, the race ends when it's supposed to at 50 laps. How's it feel?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, I wasn't looking at any flags. I look at that, I saw the checkered flag. I had trapped a nerve earlier this week, and then for the last 20 laps, it was just agony. John drove a great race. It was very, very clean, very, very exciting, and it was just a pleasure to drive it.
Well done. That's 2 for 2 on to Long Beach next week. Maybe you make it a hat trick.
Thank you very much, Calvin.
Final order finish at Phoenix. Russell Spence and John Brooks 1-2 after 50 laps. Then Jordan Harris, Mark Dismore, Stuart Crow, the top 5. Mike Berg, Tom Dooley, John Miranda, John Marconi, and Lars Dirks round out the top 10. Then Jamie Gallus, Gustavo Gutierrez Jr., Steve Cameron, Bill Pratt, Gary Peterson, taking us through the top 15. It was a terrific run for John Brooks, wound up to be a 15th to 2nd place run through the field here at Phoenix. He's disappointed, certainly, and he's with Calvin Fish.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm with John Brooks. Obviously an emotional time, John. You obviously thought you'd won the race. You took the checkered flag, but the white flag came out. There's 1 lap to run, and then the starter missed you guys. You managed to get Russell after that point, and under the rules, 50-lap race is over after 50 laps, so you got pit, but you made it really exciting. You came from nowhere, like 16th on the grid, I think, and up to make it a race with Russell.
It was a really good race for me, needless to say. The car was working wonderfully. It was just easy to pick off people 1 at a time, 2 at a time, just taking a high line, whatever was necessary at the time. Russell, needless to say, did a wonderful job like he's been doing all season long. This is my first race back after a 2-year layoff, so I'm tickled that I was able to be as competitive as I was, and if we keep working at it, who knows where we're going to end up as the season progresses.
Great round. You certainly made it exciting for us to watch. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Hope to see you guys at Long Beach. Thank you.
And so after 2 races of the new season, the 1992 season, Russell Spence enjoys a 16-point advantage in the championship over 2nd place Stuart Crow, followed by John Miranda at 19, Jamie Gallus with 18, and 5th place is a tie at the moment, 16 points each for Steve O'Hara and John Brooks. And that will do it from Phoenix International Raceway. On behalf of Calvin Fish and Brian Till, I'm Chris McClure. Thank you all for coming along. We certainly hope you enjoyed it. Once again, congratulations to the winner, Russell Spence, in his Reynard. 2 races and 2 wins in '92. And now it's on to Long Beach.